Good morning after evening, everyone. My name's Purefire, and today we're going to go over mouse and keyboard versus controller on Halo Infinite. With Halo Infinite being crossplay on both PC and Xbox, it's extremely important that 343 makes sure that they are both viable and that one isn't far superior than the other. And in this video, I'm going to go over some of the benefits of both controller and mouse and keyboard, as well as the average stats on 10 games that I played on both controller and mouse and keyboard, just to give you guys an idea of how each one performed for me, so you have an idea of what you might want to use. We're going to start off by talking about controller first. Three biggest advantages for controller users are aim assist, which aim assist in Halo Infinite is dialed down a bit from previous titles, so you can easily overshoot your target if you're not careful. And for aim assist to take into effect, your crosshair has to be lit up. The next one is variable input. And the reason why variable input is important is because having analog sticks makes moving slowly and making fine adjustments, especially when you're strafing, a lot easier than on mouse and keyboard. The next advantage is flexibility on where you can play. Obviously, if you're on mouse and keyboard, you're pretty much stuck at a desk. Controller, you can play from wherever you want. The next advantage is single plane movement. Okay, so imagine you have to do a full 180 using a mouse. Now, you may be able to do it a lot quicker, but you also have to make sure that your hand stays completely even across the entire movement, so that way you don't go up or go down too much and screw up your shot. But when you're on a controller, you literally just move the analog stick directly to the right, and it is a lot easier to keep that horizontal plane. And then the last advantage is bullet magnetism, which is kind of the same for mouse and keyboard. They both get the same amount of a bullet magnetism. It only takes into effect if your crosshair is lit up, just like aim assist, and your crosshair has to actually be touching your target for it to be lit up. Next, we're going to go over mouse and keyboard. Now, the first advantage to mouse and keyboard is precision. And when I say precision, I mean that you're able to get extremely good crosshair placement, as well as being able to snap and stop a lot quicker and a lot more precise than you would ever be able to on an analog stick. And if it wasn't for aim assist, it'd be a lot easier to hit consistent shots as well. The second one is key binding customization, and then we have responsiveness. What I mean by responsiveness is a mixture of mouse movements and also when you hit keys, such as the spacebar to jump. Now on a controller, I've noticed that sometimes if I don't hit my button like perfect, sometimes it won't jump. But when it comes to mouse and keyboard, you're able to hit those buttons a lot easier, and when it comes to like throwing grenades or meleeing, everything is just so much closer, and it's so much more ergonomic that it's a lot easier to hit all these different key bindings when different stuff is going on, and it just makes it flow a little bit smoother. And the last one is the ability to flick. This one's pretty straightforward. So basically on a controller, using an analog stick, right? Say if you have somebody that's far or to the right of your screen, you have to use an analog stick. You kind of have to go through the motion and just slowly to, I guess at medium speed, move over to your target. But if it's just a mouse, you can just give your mouse a quick flick and you could be there pretty much right on target once you get used to it. To give you guys a good idea of just how much these differences impact the gameplay, I decided that I would play 10 matches with both controller and mouse and keyboard and record the overall average hit percentage, kills, and deaths. Just keep in mind that there are a lot of variables that have a play in these kinds of tests, so my experience should be taken with a grain of salt. Each thing is also rounded up to the nearest whole number. For controller, my average hit percentage was 43%, average kills per game was 13, and my average deaths per game was 4. For mouse and keyboard, my average hit percentage was 39%, my average amount of kills was 14, average deaths was 3. As you can see, all of these stats are fairly close to one another, and either way, I really can't hit the broadside of a barn. But while using controller, my hit percentage was a little bit higher, but the average kills and deaths on mouse and keyboard were better for me. Overall, my experience so far is that Halo Infinite does a much better job at balancing controllers without making them blatantly broken like an MCC. It is a very tough choice on which one is better. I think they are both viable and well balanced, and you can honestly get away with using either or in game. I like the direction that the game has decided to go with the balancing of these two input methods, and I can't wait to see how they stack up to one another when it comes to vehicle controls. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video, I hope it helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.